And my brother and I, we get to see each other like twice a year because we're so far away and we're both poor. And he's about 8 years older than I am. I have older parents. I was the surprise of the family, you know. And so I'm waiting for him in the security, you know, with the revolving doors, and I'm waiting. And right before he shows up, these big group of Boy Scouts come through, you know. And I don't mean like Boy Scouts. I mean like the Boy Scouts that are 39 to 51 years old, still dressed up in this shit. And it rocked me right back to even being like 5 years old. You know when your parents are trying to get you into shit, you know, when you're little, like, do you want to be a Boy Scout? And even at 5, I'm like, that's fucking dumb, man. I mean, I can't think of anything more nerdy than Boy Scouts, even as a little kid. And I was telling this joke at another venue one time, doing stand-up, and this guy's like, hey, Teddy Roosevelt was a Boy Scout, and he's one of the manliest men ever lived. I'm like, well, yeah, but Teddy Roosevelt was a Boy Scout in, like, 1908, when they got patches for, like, how many Indians they murdered, and building shelters out of the bones and hair of the troops member that had the worst asthma. Sign me up for that shit, yeah, that'd be great. Love that. So, my girlfriend's not gonna like this joke, but to be honest, I didn't think she was gonna be here tonight. She lied to me. But, I used to be a bit of a chronic dater, you know, and racking up girlfriends is fun, but you also rack a lot of ex-girlfriends. And getting older, you know, I'm going to be 30, and they're all getting married, you know, which is kind of depressing. And I just found out yesterday, this girl I dated for a long time is getting married to a guy named Thor Chessman. And I'm like, bullshit, bitch, you're totally lying to me, you know. So I look him up, of course, because I'm insecure as shit. And sure enough, the photo of him, too, is him being knighted in France. Like, it's the biggest fuck you to an ex-boyfriend you could ever have, you know? It's like an X-Men. She's wearing the X-Men. Awful. So I wish them a long life of happiness. So, speaking of babies, my girlfriend, who's here, I won't point her out. She watches this show, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called 16 and Pregnant. That's the exact reaction I wanted, actually. And she watches the show, and besides the fact that it sounds like a website I jerked off to before I came here, if you've never seen this show, it's about these documenting the lives of these terrible, hillbilly, white trash young women and their process of being pregnant and having a kid. And the show is supposed to show what a terrible idea it is, you know? And I really think they're missing the mark on their message, which is don't get cummed in, you know? Because I actually sat down the other day and watched a full episode, because she's like, just watch it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. So the show, like, some of them are like 2 hours, the specials they have, you know, where they follow like 3 years after the kid's born. And they're really fucking up, because by the end of the show, I'm like, oh, that baby's an asshole. And instead of showing, you know, that you shouldn't be having these kids this young, you're just like, oh, that mom's great, but that baby just sucks. And the one I actually sat down and watched, the girl, her best friend, who's 15. I mean, these kids are having kids before they get their driver's permit, you know. And her best friend's like, oh, you're right, that baby's so annoying. When I have mine next year, it's not going to be like that at all. Like, come on.